Hey, hello. Here we go. Monday, the 5th of February. Just getting my motor rolling here. 9:16. Cheers. Well, yesterday was a good day. Got a very accomplished, a lot done yesterday. So, the Muse #2 has officially started. I had stuff from some sessions a while back where we had started recording, but yesterday was when some magic happened. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, it's not here. The Muse, here's one. Some magical moments for us as musicians happened in the making of the Muse. It's partially why I keep pushing it and my music so hard is because I'm not imagining this. I got Blake's followed through yesterday like he said he would and came by at 11. I was so happy that he actually arrived here at 11. He is typically an hour to 2 hours late all the time for things that are planned. Now, let me just talk about this and I'll share a record I listened to yesterday, a couple. So, interestingly, the Muse #1 didn't get started last February, but it was around February and March that this really came together. And it's February again. And yesterday, sure enough, what I had in mind worked. To start with Blake alone and then have James come in. Now, Blake was actually ahead of me yesterday. We got started, and then either he called James or James called to see what was going on and asked if he would come over. Well, sure, you can come over. It's not like I'm only going to work with Blake and you separately. It was like I knew to get the ball rolling, instead of having Blake and James play together and have that back and forth, I could get the path started with it because I like trumpet and sax. I like horns. But I guess I like trumpet more, even though I have a lot of saxophone albums. But I like the timbre of the. So we got started yesterday, and then James came by, and he laid down both of them had laid down at least a couple of takes that I will probably use with some editing. It was a good day. So to check with the comments from yesterday, I'm glad that people are still watching the interviews. Someone just made a comment on the Richard Barbieri interview. If you aren't aware, I've interviewed several people in the last year, couple of years, people that I admire musically, and have a playlist on my channel for them. Someone asked, would you ever be interested in making a top 10 album video? No. And the reason is that is too simplistic. And at 68 years old, I can't, every time I look at my records, the top 10 would change. I don't have a definite top 10 like I used to. I just know what I love. And then when I come across records and I share them with you, I just share my enthusiasm. I would hope that that's enough. I think that top 10 lists are misleading. So no interest there. Yes, it was good to hear from you folks regarding Family Man. He is an international musical treasure. Same hearing about Courtney Pine. And I see here Frank says that he recently opened for the Scatolites. If you have any music out, franker if you have stuff online. So I have some work to do here regarding my electronics. It seems that my connection to my camera is I shouldn't have it just turning off all the time just because I accidentally bumped something over here. That's what just happened. So I'm part 2 of the video. Okay, so let's keep going. Well, I wanted to look down here. I disdain the terms Afro-American or Black American, and I don't call myself white or English. Well, that's fine. We're all Americans. That's nice that you think that, Ronald, but it's like, it's not, that's fine that that's what you think, but that's not what's happening in this world. Okay? It's unfortunate, that when I am not treated like, in general in the world, I'm not treated like just an American. I insist on it. Okay? Someone said, I agree with your last statement that we're being hated upon because we stand up for ourselves. And that's right. We need to stand up for ourselves, okay? Okay, so besides working on the muse yesterday, I rehearsed my piano parts for Dave Nance. We have rehearsal today. I'm looking forward to it because I didn't have these piano parts down at the last. This is only our 3rd rehearsal for the upcoming show. So I've learned these parts since then, so now I get to play them in context of the band. Looking forward to seeing how that rolls out. Yesterday in the afternoon, I pulled a couple records to play. Here's one. I think this was sent to me. Thank you, whoever did. Nicolas Godin. Was he in the band Air? Concrete and Glass. This came out, 2020? And this is a nice mixture of pop and kind of almost down-tempo, relaxed adult. I use the word adult because to me that's something that I pick up on rather quickly, is where music is geared towards. If it's artist oriented or if it's for a market, and youth market is the most lucrative, so that's the one that's so obvious to me. This is wonderful, and by the time we got to the end of side 2 with Sight Radieuse, I was like, oh shit, this is fantastic. Yeah, this album ends on a real positive, like real musically juicy, exactly what I love. Interesting chord changes, really good. I must admit I had never gotten to the last part of the album until yesterday. So it was the last few songs were a revelation at how good they were. Fantastic. I like music like this where it's really creative, and it's why I was drawn to Prague. But this is not Prague, but this has the elements that drew me to Prague. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. First time showing this, I know, because I've hesitated to show it all these years, mainly because it's so beat, the cover. But this is an album that goes back to my childhood. I've had this record since 1971. This is part of that bunch of records that myself and my friends got from visiting a radio station, taking a tour, and they gave us records at the end. It was a black soul station in town that didn't last very long, but it was unique. And they gave us records that they obviously weren't going to play. That's how I got my first copy of the Egg album, the Canterbury Classic. And this, Some Pear. It's so ring-worn because I like, and look how many times I put my name on here. That's how much I like this. I didn't, like I've said before, growing up, financially, we were poor. So I couldn't afford records. It was, for a time there, it was like one record per year I would get on my birthday, and anything else would be like, someone gives it to me. I find it in the garbage, stuff like that. So I'd play the hell out of my records, especially if I liked them, and I didn't know about record care. I was a kid. So this is American pop with just a slight bit of bluesy southern feel, but also just good pop. It's interesting that it's on a label that the only other time I've seen this label is the early James Taylor and the Flying Machine, but that's a cool label, Euphoria. I wonder how many other releases they had. So this, I hadn't heard this for easily, I think I can say, with honestly, I probably have not listened to this album for at least 30 years, if not longer. It had been that long since I heard this. And I heard things that I hadn't noticed before, and it brought back a lot of nostalgic feelings too while listening to this. Some Pear. Here's another one, not like that, but just one I've been thinking about listening to. Birmingham Sunday, a guy-girl group from 1969. This is one of those generic covers. There's several albums that use this graphic from back then. This is really good. They're really young. The girl, she was a teenager. You can hear it in her voice, but there's a lot of spirit in here, and they sing like they're they know they're up to something, like they're really trying to get across to you. These are really good songs. I'm searching for a reference in my mind. Maybe Spanky and Our Gang, not Mamas and Papas. There's other references. They don't come to mind. This is really good. So that's it. I started to play the record I got from British Progressive Jazz, but I have to come back to it because I have to focus. It's not a high fidelity recording. In other words, it's an archive. It's a recording that someone captured them playing. It's not a setup recording. So I have to get past that first to focus on the performance. I like high fidelity recordings like most people, but I make the adjustment, mentally. Okay, let me stop here because I need to join these two videos together and then put them online. Let's see what the week brings. Okay, take care.